Back at the Painting and Decorating Show 2025 now. I've come over to the Caparol stand now. You've probably heard me mention Martin a number of times on some recent videos because Martin's reached out to me. He is really Caparol UK. And I always say I'm not sponsored, I'm not endorsing anybody, but I do like to try paints out. And when a company brands reaches out to me and says, would you like to try this? I'm going to be trying the paints out. So I've done some videos on Caparol recently, and it's really thanks to Martin. I'll also mention Colin at Paint Shack if that's allowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people probably know Colin as well. Colin's a big supporter of the channel, so I'm going to say thanks to these guys that are helping me. I'm going to say try and get that 100,000 subscribers one day. But I'm at the Painting and Decorating Show. I've been talking to Martin, and I think it'd be very beneficial for Martin to actually just touch base on a number of products that you might have seen when you've been in painting and decorating stores, but probably a little bit apprehensive about asking the questions or even trying because you don't know what the actual product is. Now, Martin's literally gone through these paints really quickly with me, and I've said, I think you've got to do it on camera for me. So I'll swivel the camera around like I normally do. Martin's going to say hi, and we'll just talk through about half a dozen different products that you might want to try as a painter and decorator. Hi, Martin. Thanks for having me. And again, thank you very much for supporting the channel.
That's okay.
Helping me out.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
What have we got? What don't people understand? And what can you just enlighten their product knowledge of what your paints are all about?
Okay, so we'll start with on the emulsions. We'll keep it nice and simple on the emulsions. So the first product will be half grind EG. So those of you that know the half primer and love it, half grind EG is basically the half primer for walls and ceilings.
Yeah.
It also helps with vibrant colours and dark colours because you can tint it, that it's the good bases to start off with when you're going on some of the really dark, vibrant colours.
Yeah.
So you can tint that one as well. So the next one along is premium colour. Now, premium colour is literally just a base 3, and it's the technology involved in that is to overcome all the problems that you have with trying to paint with dark colours, from black through the reds and the purples, etc. Stops the picture framing, which is very difficult on dark colours to try and get away with the picture framing. So this actually allows, but also the scratch and the finger marks on dark colours, it gets rid of that.
We've just been talking about that, and we call it like flashing. It's one of those things, it looks like somebody's touched it with a dusty hand.
Yes.
And it's not particularly you've got a dusty hand, it just naturally
because it's a dark colour.
Pulls it back as a white.
So that eliminates that problem.
Yeah.
It is only available in a base 3, and that will be due. So whenever you use premium colour, we'd always recommend using the half grind EG just to stabilise the colour and gives you good adhesion. Next one along is the Indeco Plus, which is the environmental paint, so everything's recycled. It's German's biggest selling paint because of all the recyclability. To give you an idea, Indeco Plus, we've been using that as a recycled paint since 1986. So it's not like we've invented it last week. So the Germans are big into everything being recycled. So that is your eco-friendly paint. We then have Premium Clean, which takes your cleanability up to probably one of the highest levels on emulsions. So it was designed for hospitals and doctor surgeries, etc. But the retail market is loving it. So the decorators are going into homes painting it because they just know we just go with it. It just takes all the issues away. The next one down is Aqua Spiegelgrund, and again it's in German, which we're getting the English labels put on it. But this is basically a stain block. So it's a stain block for walls, ceilings, and woodwork, and it will do soot, nicotine, and water damage. And 2 coats of that covers most things. Quite often you get away with 1, but we would always allow for 2.
Can we just touch on tanning, stain blocking, i.e.
That's a different product.
Yeah, i.e. knots. Don't get this confused with something that's
this is purely for water damage, soot damage, for after fire, for walls and ceilings. If you're using tannins, there is another product that we would do for that. But the nice thing is then any of our emulsions will then go straight over. So it's you use that and then you're away. Probably the flattest emulsion on the market, and it's the only one on the market that's pure silicone internal. So the opacity is class 1. The scrub is class 1. It's in white and you can tint it as well in light colours. The anti-reflective properties are best in class. and touch up on this is probably the easiest paint for touch ups. So if you've got where you've got high traffic areas and you're a bit worried that you're going to have to keep coming back to touch up, always go for the Caparol.
Yeah.
Capa Max is your go-to 3-base emulsion paint for the professional decorator, as is everyday go-to emulsion. Just walks in, does it, comes out, works every time. Again, very, very good opacity on it. Has a good wet edge. So again, cutting in before you roll, perfect for that. It will leave that nice wet edge for you, so you're not getting it stained.
Is this the paint that you would work with straight out the tin, or
Yes.
would you advise you just need to thin it, or depending on your substrate?
It depends on the substrate.
Yeah.
So everybody's got their own way that they want to emulsion, and it's so the Germans always say on any of these it's 5%. Well, 5% is not an awful lot, and sometimes the guys go, "I do 10% because I just want the flow."
Yeah.
What you've got to bear in mind is, as I always say, we have a chemist will work 5 years to develop this, and then we give it to a painter who throws water in it.
Yeah.
So you will lose some of the properties, but sometimes the decorator just wants it just to flow a bit quicker, and it's all down to personal choice. But you've just got to realise if you go over the recommendations on the thinning, you will lose some of the properties.
Properties, yeah, that's fair enough. We're going to come on to the next one, but these all really spray well, don't they?
Yeah, everything on the Caparol range is designed for spraying, and then brush and roller. So rather than we launch a paint that on a brush and roller and see if we can knock it through a machine, it's because again in Germany a lot of it is all sprayed.
Yeah. We're in the UK, we seem to be about 15 to 20 years behind on how the European, even with paints and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Right, move on to the.
And then Capa Trend is the entry emulsion. Good opacity. The scrub isn't as good, but then that's the reason it's as cheap as it is. But it's the emulsion that if a guy really doesn't want to do the jump of £20-30 a tin, try that first. And we normally find that they do that, and then straight away they go, and this is so much better, and then they move up really quick.
Yeah, and it's probably a case that, I mean, I've said times many, the price of materials on a job is quite small to the cost of labour. And a lot of people think if something's going to cost 50 quid, I'd rather spend 50 quid than spending 80 quid. But then they actually realise that 80 quid, the time saving and the application, and it's nice to actually put the paint on. What's another £30 onto a job that might be costing £2,500 on your actual labour? So price isn't everything, but obviously price has got to be thought of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, don't go for the cheapest product thinking you're going to be saving time, because often buy cheap, pay twice, don't you?
Absolutely.
So good. Is there anything else we want to touch on while we're just here?
Well,
you know about the PU glosses and satins.
Yeah.
And
so I would say it's the wrong time of the year to do external. So we'll stick.
I think when I see you at the installer show next year, we'll probably touch on
absolutely. Facade paints, yeah.
The installer show's probably around about June, which is the start of the season for people probably thinking about doing exterior painting, albeit some decorators start as soon as it gets nice in April, May time, but June will be a good time for when people think they're doing major painting outside. But once again, thank you very much.
Pleasure. It's good to see you.
It's great to put a face to a name and not just speaking on the phone. So yeah, if anybody's interested, I'll do a link to Caparol, and I'm giving a bit of a plug to Colin at Paint Shack as well, because if you do want to get your paint, Paint Shack is one of the retailers that sells it.
Yes.
Along with, I'll mention brewers as well.
If you need to.
If you need to. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.